Morning. I've already let the chicks out. Everybody's been fed. The turkeys are out. The one thing we're going to talk about today briefly is that we've got a storm coming in. We're going to get a little over an inch of rain today. So what do we do to prepare for such a thing? It's a lot of rain. Other people have more at times, but that's a lot of rain for us. So some of the things that I have done to prepare is, if you look at the coop, there is a cover over the top of the coop. The older chicks can go in there. They can stay dry. Probably the young chicks will go in there too and just stay under the canopy in this area in here, which is protected a little bit. They'll at least stay dry. Chickens don't mind to get wet. They don't like to get soaked, but a little rain won't hurt them, especially when it's warm out. The colder it gets, the less they like it. We'll wander over here to the turkeys. You can see their feed. I put their feed out on the ground yet. They had some zucchini this morning. They had some leftover lettuce from a salad, some apple cores, that kind of stuff. They like that. I don't give it to the turkeys simply because I'm not sure whether they would like it or not, and it would be a waste. The meat chickens are getting ready to move on to freezer camp. That'll be happening this week. So let's go back to the turkeys. The turkey coop. We'll step over the fence. There they are, right down there. The turkey coop is nothing more than a pallet with wheels on it. It's a mobile tractor, mobile coop. As you can see, the floor in there, it has a grate in it. It's half-inch mesh, so that nothing can get them. Outside there's some chicken wire and some half-inch mesh over the top of that. We had problems with the Predator when we used it before. But we have remnants of a tarp over the top. They've got some sheet metal over it. It's wrapped, the back end of it's wrapped in a tarp, so they are more than safe. They stay dry. They usually sleep back here in the corner anyways. But so when the heavy rains come, we keep the tarps over that. They get ready to go. They'll be all right. They'll stay dry. Young turkeys, they talk about how dumb they are, and a turkey will drown if it gets a raindrop put on its head because it'll look up. I don't know if any of that is true. These ones don't like rain, so they don't have a problem going in. The meat birds will be completely fine in their quarters. There might be a little rain get in there, but they don't mind. They don't mind anything. As long as you feed them, they're happy. So they're going to be all right. That coop there is metal clad. It's got a complete roof on it. The windows have got homemade louvers. Lets cross ventilation go in and out, but it won't let the driving rain go in. And usually the driving rain comes from this side, so that's why that's like that. The other end, there's another window on the back side we don't open up, but there's another window that I have propped open here just for cross ventilation. The little girls will be fine. They'll go back underneath. We just throw a tarp over the area where they have a bucket a tote that they used as a brooder when they were young after they were hatched. They like it, so they stay right in there. That's where they've been from day one, and they'll still go back into it. It's not completely under the back end of the netting. As you can see, there's a tarp over the back, and it's not completely. It's a little forward of that, and that's where they like it. So we leave it there. We throw the tarp over to keep the food that's thrown on the ground there a little drier, and so they'll be all right. Everybody should be fine. They may get a little muddy feet, but that doesn't hurt them. They go play in the ditch over there, the drainage ditch, every day, so that will be fine for them. They as far as the grain goes, the grain that's left on the ground will just get wet. And sometimes they'll eat it, even damp. The pool and grain that we use for the girls is pretty good stuff. It doesn't seem to lose its feed value even when it gets wet. The girls get layer pellets for production. It's got lots of calcium and good vitamins for them. Natural vitamins. We don't go into all that crazy stuff. They don't get. We don't inoculate them at all. We don't shoot them up with drugs. It is all natural. Everything is as close to what they naturally get as we can possibly get it, and still be able to keep them alive. The meat birds eat a pool and grain, of course, but their grain is just a grower. The grower. And it's a grower pellet, but the grower pellets are for young chicks up to the time that they start to hatch or start to lay, or meat birds that they live 6 to 10 weeks and then they move on to freezer camp. So they never really completely mature. They get to the maturity date, and then that's it. And of course, the turkeys are on the pool and grain turkey feed. It's a turkey / wild bird food, which is specially formulated for turkeys. They are doing fantastic on it. Now they get some every morning, and in the evening I put some inside the coop to help them go inside. Last night they didn't seem to want to go inside, so that was a problem, and it could continue to be a problem because turkeys like to stay outside. They like to roost, so we may have to be building a roost for them to keep them kind of safe at the same time, because we still have predators. We have minks, and we have weasels, and we have we have fox, we have coyotes, we have wolves. We've had a report of a panther that was sighted just around the corner here. The bears don't usually come down here. They don't usually bother them. If they do, they're just coming to check out their feed. They don't like the chicken food, so they don't usually eat it. At this time of year, the berries have been out. They're mostly past mature. We even have a berry patch right there. The chickens don't seem to bother that too much. They do get in there a little bit, but that's not terrible. But there's still some berries that are on it, but not as much as you would think. Mostly it's already gone. The wild birds come up, eat it. Mostly the ravens. Occasionally you'll see some swallows in here eating, but that's mostly what gets in there. The ravens do eat some of the chicken food, which is okay. We had wild turkeys last year that were down here, and they would eat a little bit of the chicken food and wander off. They were here for a while, and they wandered off and never came back. So don't know what happened to them. Have no clue. But it's one of those. some of the some of the chickens will stay out, you know, especially the Buff Orpingtons. They're pretty bullheaded. They like to stay out till the last hoorah. They'll get wet. They'll stay wet. They don't mind as long as they're not inside. So kind of like young kids. As I've said before, putting chickens away at night is kind of like putting kindergartners away. So, because you put one inside, and one decides it needs a drink, all of them decide they need a drink. You put one out, and then one's hungry, they'll come out. So, they're a little funny that way, but they're enjoyable. Mine are a little over 3 years old at this point. So we're gonna have to. That's why we're introducing the young chicks. We're letting them get acquainted, and we're gonna start raising some more in the brooder. I've got another dozen eggs or so, and we'll see how many hatch out of that. Usually it's about 80%. I would be happy with 75%. That's gonna happen this coming weekend. They should start hatching. So it takes 21 days to hatch an egg in the brooder. 21 days, give or take. So I will probably not do any more of the meat chickens this year, simply because of timing, and the freezers are full, which is a good thing. We like the freezers to be full. So, and we don't have a lot of customers for the meat birds at this time. We got a lot of people that want free meat birds, and if I give them to them, they'll take them, and then tell you how good they are. But you don't pay for them that way. So the meat birds themselves they're 6 to 10 weeks, depending what size you want to get them. It's not a lot of work. It does take a couple hours to process, especially when you do 25 at a time. And that's all I want to do is 25 at a time. But this is the second set for the year. This will be the end of it. We'll take that coop and turn it into, we clean it out, sanitize everything, probably move it for the next round, and I don't know where I'll put it. I'll figure that out at some point. But I'll move that, and I'll put the next batch of young chicks in there, the young hens, and let them have that brooder, because I can put a small wall heater in there, a small ceramic wall heat plate in there, that if it gets too cold for them, they'll be fine. Young chicks want to stay warm. And that should take them till they're all feathered out. Then we'll move them in with the big girls, and at probably about the time we start getting ready to process some of the turkeys, which is going to be around Thanksgiving, we will start processing some of the layers. The layers will go into canning. We haven't decided whether we're going to pre-cook them and then can them, just to get that extra tenderizer in them, because they're going to be tough. They're 3 years old, and their job, they're not really a meat bird. Their job was only to lay. So the next group is their eggs. So it's going to be a combination of the Rhode Island red rooster, and there are some of Orpingtons. There are some of the Australops, and some of the red comets. So we'll see what comes out, what we end up with. I don't know. I'm not sure. So it just got to be a homestead chicken. I guess that's probably what we'll call them, homestead chickens. Because it'll be whatever it is it's going to be, and whatever roosters that come out of that group or out of the young girl group will end up processing, and because you only want to have one rooster, and mine does a pretty good job, so I don't want to really get rid of him at this point. He's pretty protective, so as long as he continues to do that, and has a really decent disposition, we'll let him go. You start having problems with a rooster when they start getting aggressive with everybody. He has no reason to be aggressive with people. Sometimes he does. He does watch the grandkids, and will flare up a little bit at them, especially when they're chasing a hen or something. And that's his job. So we're really good about that. I don't want to harm him for that. Looks to me like the rain's going to be coming here shortly, so we're going to go ahead and get off, and you have a fantastic day.